being a fitness trainer, does that have any impact on those ups and downs?
Yes. So I believe fitness changed my life. Fitness saved my life in terms of who I am today as an individual. When I was in elementary school, high school, I was a very shy kid. I was a scrawny kid. Um, I even went to an all boys high school. I was even afraid to even speak with girls. And so I actually chose to go to an all boys high school so that I was only able to interact with males. So it was in high school that I first got my experience into fitness, where I started to exercise. I started to like invest in myself. And one thing I found was once I began to look at myself and like the way I looked, something changed inside mentally. Um, I began to look when I spoke with people. That was a big thing. And then also I do a speech impediment, which also um, hampered me in high school. I got made fun of in high school and this and that. And so I really went through a tough time. But I found once I began exercising, it just changed the way I viewed myself, the way I looked at myself. It increased my sort of confidence. It just allowed me to start to interact with the individuals. And I went to school for computers and communications networking, computers, because my goal was okay. I want to avoid talking to
Just
people.
avoid talking to
Just
people.
want to be on computers all day. That was my goal. Believe it or not, that
And
was
look
my
at you here talking to billions of people.
I know.
It is crazy. My goal was I'm going to university. I'm going to do computers and communications networking. I'm just going to interact with computers all day, avoid people, come home, just be by myself. And then I found that once I began exercising, things in my life just changed. Confidence increased. I just started to believe in myself because there's something about fitness and what it teaches you, right? It teaches you the struggle. It teaches you that, right? Because when you go into the gym and you pick up a certain weight, in the beginning it's heavy, right? But then it's all about the consistency. And then over time you start to feel that, wow, this 10 or 15 pound weight that was so heavy a month ago is not as heavy today.
Right.
So what does that mean? Right? It means growth.
lighter.
Right? It doesn't.
It does get lighter.
It gets lighter in the term that you get better, you get stronger, and so that's why it gets lighter. That 15 pounds is still the 15 pounds, right? It doesn't get lighter in the terms where it drops down to 10 pounds. It's still the 15 pounds, but to you, it feels lighter because you have gotten stronger, you have gotten better. But then becoming a fitness manager, having a team of at least 10 personal trainers who each have a team of 10 to 15 clients, now I'm able to influence so much more. Right? So today I run a team of 18 personal trainers. I have an assistant fitness manager, and we influence over 300 personal training clients. Right? So that is it.
That is it.
I'm gonna give you a double barrel question to piggyback on what Fumi is saying. Is asking is Fumi, sorry, you don't represent everyone, but you do have some people who it may not be Fumi, might not, it's the gym is very foreign is not the word, scary for some people. But can you also intimidating? Thank you. Where you highlight maybe how do you get people who it's not necessarily gym, but here now let's talk about fitness. How do you get people engaged in that? So for either people in the diaspora, just generally from our culture, who may not, and it's not just our culture, but I'm just saying, this is a conversation we're having. How do you get them engaged? So just to add to what Fumi was saying or
Yeah,
asking.
yeah. So when it comes to the gym specifically, I definitely understand that.
I know school they have sports, but I find you have those who participate in sports and are, eager about it, and then you have, I would 60-70% where, for whatever reason, and sometimes it's just because they're not comfortable, or maybe the parents
Yes.
are not available for whatever reason to be able to, because it's a lot of work to take them to practices and so on, for them to get into that mindset of physical exercise and mental health. They're all connected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But but the big thing too, I find, because it's definitely something I'm going to be talking about when we talk,
Mm-hmm.
is just my personal experience from when I first came into the country and like trying to get involved in like group or like sports. It wasn't easy because sometimes, obviously, as you know, kids, they tend to be a little bit of like clicky where
Yeah.
they try to
It's not even
stick
just the
to
kids, the
themselves.
adults as well.
Exactly. They tend to stick to themselves. And so it's good for these youth to have an outlet to go to where they feel they feel comfortable and to join and then express themselves. And then it
Express.
also helps them to build their confidence, self-esteem, and then from then they can move on to other
Exactly.
things.
That's true. Arrow question. To piggyback
Sure.
on what Fumi is saying, is asking, is Fumi, sorry, you don't represent everyone, but you do have some people who, it may not be Fumi, might not, it's the gym is very, foreign is not the word, scary for some people, but can you also,
Intimidating.
intimidating, thank you, where you highlight maybe how do you get people who, it's not necessarily gym, but here now let's talk about fitness. How do you get people engaged in that? So for either people in the diaspora, just generally from our culture, who may not, and it's not just our culture, but I'm just saying, this is a conversation we're having. How do you get them engaged? So just to add to what Fumi was saying or
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, so when it comes to the gym specifically, I definitely understand that it can be an intimidating environment. Definitely. So the first thing I always like to do is to create a safe space.
Mhm.
And so this goes back to what I was talking about because especially at my job, whenever the individuals they come and they meet me, then they talk to me, they see my physique, and they already think I am at a certain level
Right.
with my fitness, and so they may not think I understand. And so this is where being vulnerable and sharing my hardships helps, right? Because that breaks down that wall that they may have up that, oh, he doesn't understand me because he loves the gym. But I was also once in their shoe where I didn't like it. But the main thing is I like to say you have to identify your why. And by that, I mean, what is the main reason why you want to be a better version of yourself?
Mhm.
That is it. People come into the gym and they say, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 50 pounds, or hey, I want to get stronger, or hey, I want to look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just surface level.
Right.
Now, it's
Exactly.
digging deeper. And this is what I call finding your why. And so that's what I do. I help them while creating a safe space. I help them identify their why because your why is what is going to push you, is what is going to motivate you to keep coming, especially in the beginning, despite the fact that you may not want to, and you may be intimidated, and then deep down in our mind, we may be comparing ourselves to other people.
Right.
And saying, oh, I am less than because I don't look as good as this individual, or in this gym, there are so many good looking or fit individuals in the gym. Whatever stories we make in our head, right? Which creates fear into going into the gym. So if I just help individuals identify their why and then to create that safe space. But something I always say to anyone who is even thinking, contemplating going into a gym or beginning to invest in their personal fitness, seek help. Even me, the first thing I got help. I worked with personal trainers in the past, right? So seek a fitness professional. Get help. Go do, because even at gyms that they do complimentary fitness consultations where it's free. It's not no charge. And so you go and you meet an individual, and then also being honest, and then just also asking, because I always like to ask the new members in the gym and me, do you have a preference of the type of coach you would like to work with? Right? Because do you prefer a male or a female? I completely understand that. So, because I feel like once you are more comfortable with the individual you were talking to, you were able to open up and be more open and honest. So, that's the first step I would say to everyone: seek help, reach out, speak to a fitness professional, right? Because they are going to be able to cater to your specific needs, and then also they are going to be able to make their workouts fun and enjoyable. So that's what I would say to them.
What about race? Does that play any race or culture? Does that have any impact?
Yes. My people, we need to invest in our personal fitness more. I will be open and transparent and say that my people, and by my people, I mean Black people, and not just Africans, Black people. I go to the gym, well, I might even go. I work at the gym. I've been working in the gym environment for the last 10 to 12 years, and I would say we are also the minority in the gym. Yes, if you don't have the motivation, start at the gym.
Okay.
Because that's where accountability starts being held, right? Because especially you know that, okay, I'm paying for a gym membership, right? Sometimes money is the motivation. If you know that you are spending this much money, you are more likely to go and use the product, right? As opposed to if it's free. And by free, I mean if it's at home, it's like, all right, I came home from work. And then also understanding your lifestyle. Because if you commute to work, by the time you come back home after work, after a good long day, you were exhausted, and home can be very comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
And so once you come into this comfortable environment, it's a lot difficult to pick yourself back up and say, all right, I got to go and exercise now downstairs in the basement. But if you commute to work, on your way home from work, I say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym because it's already on my way home.
Yeah.
And then I get in that workout. And then also understanding that depending on the individual that you are, sometimes like the great thing about the gym is that it can also be like a group environment, right? That you go and you see other individuals like you. I would even say taking part in the group classes in your gyms is also good because it creates that it creates that community, I would say, where you go, and then you also get to meet people and then interact, and then everyone is on the same page, which is betterment. They are working on themselves to like improve. So that's something I would say.
So, as a fitness trainer, can you maybe help us dispel? So, for some, even I am into all the fitness thing. I love being active, etc., etc. But I'm also not I will go to the gym, I can do all the workouts, etc. But I'd rather be outside. I'd rather be outdoors. If I have to be on the treadmill, it's maybe, and consistently, it's maybe because maybe there's a target I have or something like a race. Otherwise, I'm like, the treadmill for me is like I'm a hamster. So for someone who maybe is starting out or wanting to get into things, like, can you help us encourage others, as in, it doesn't have to be the treadmill. It doesn't have to be weights. Like, how can you get into fitness? Because at the end of the day, aside from the fact that, yeah, okay, you lose a few pounds, etc., but also the mental.
Yes.
Like, exercise, fitness does so many things, that not just even your mental, but that's one of the things. How can we encourage our people and others?
Like some of us like steps. Give me 1, 2, 3. What do I need to do? Like make me get to exercising tomorrow. 1, 2, 3. What do I need to do?
If they're not the traditional gym goer, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say something like dancing. Lots of people don't think about this, but dance can be a form of exercising. And so for somebody, if you like music, you put it on and then you dance, right? Even in the gym, Zumba, exactly, right? And we have group classes in the gym that are dance classes, like Zumba. I know that some other gyms that they have soca songs, right?
Yeah.
And so something is that you gotta find what you love to do and then start there. I like to tell people, start small, work your way up.